What's going on, everybody? I am Robin Ayers with the Raw Report, and I'm so extremely excited to be sitting with somebody whom I just love. I adore the man, the talent, all the things. I've been a fan for quite some time, and I'm finally getting to sit with him, the incomparable and talented Cedric the Entertainer. Cedric, so good to see you today. How are you feeling?
Go, go.
You must be feeling pretty good. You are right on the heels of season 4 of Johnson. Congratulations about that.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's been it's a pleasure. For this show to last as long as it has. It was a very unique idea that the creators and the writers and the stars of the show actually brought to us, and then for Bounce to take that chance and just very little to tell like a men centric dramedy that actually has ran like 4 seasons, and we're really excited about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I was blessed to serve as the host of the pre-show for season 1 and the official after show for season 2. So I've talked to Deji LeRae, I've talked to Thomas Q. Jones, I've talked to Derek Brady, obviously, Philip Smithy, all the guys just about. And I was really in there, Cedric. I was like really involved with the show. I'm just such a fan of it because I feel like I'm a fly on the wall sitting with a bunch of men talking about men things, men topics, and we rarely get those kind of opportunities, and they're just so real and I feel like relatable too. Was
Yeah.
there any one specific thing that got you that was like, okay, I want to be involved in this project?
I think it was a combination. Is I love that very early on, like Deji played, a man who really had fear of relationships in a way that you don't really see. You don't, in that he didn't identify until, it's one of these things. Your machoism lets you think like, yes, I love love. I want a woman. I want somebody on my side.
Yeah.
And then as you kind of get into and like basically having everything that you need, you see yourself self sabotage or decide that you run away from. It's very a male kind of thing.
Yeah.
Me growing up in a single parent household, I just kind of recognized that. I grew up with my mother and my younger sister, and I just recognized this idea. I didn't get married till I was late. I was 35. I think that's kind of late for men. But had been in love many times. At least I thought I was right and qualified. So that and of course the relationship with Thomas's character, with the son and that how do you bond, how do you blend, how do you love, how do you recognize your failings once you have failed and now you're in this kind of weird situation. How do you grow? And so the fact that this character is going to go through therapy and try to find himself and he has all the tools to be the dynamic catch, and
Yeah.
yet there is so many things wrong there. And these are you're right, these were subject matters that just did not come across in the male voice on television. So I thought this was great and really really blessed that a network gave us the time and and the platform to be able to tell the story and grow an audience.
Yeah. You mentioned something, and I'm glad that you went there. You talked a little bit about your own background and growing up in a single parent household, which a lot of people are, just even in our community, when we're talking about the Black community, and Black men in particular. I want to get your take on this. Have you noticed that there's like a sector of our people who love to, they sort of gravitate towards negative content or just things that seem salacious. And then we get positive content such as Johnson, such as your show, your TV show, which congratulations on being renewed 7 seasons now.
Season 7, yeah.
That's wow, Cedric. That's wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. But again, it's great content. So successful in its own right. But what's your take on the fact that there are all these people who love to go to this negativity? And meanwhile, there are shows like Johnson and people like us trying to push more positive content out there.
I think about that a lot. It's been, kind of been the whole backdrop of my career is that somehow the good guys have this kind of less than um less than positive push, if you will, like both from the industry and and marketing, all these things, except for but I do think that people identify in a very weird way. Everybody identifies themselves as being the good person in the situation.
That's
So
true.
when you get to watch the negativity, or have this kind of outside experience of saying, "Ooh, look at them, look how they act, look at
Mm.
that," you find yourself watching it, and you find yourself, you know, somewhere, weirdly attracted to that negativity, and that's what gives it, more eyeballs and better viewership. And it's unfortunate because you're right. We end up raising, you see that from not only the TV shows, but in the music as well. And you raise a generation of people that don't know the difference. And then they see it as real reality, which is kind of problematic. Once the reality shows kind of caught on, and this idea that I can throw water in your face, and the idea that if I'm negative and I talk the truth without really having my facts, but I say it with the clever ways, that I'm the realest one.
Mm.
And so we end up raising a generation, and it don't take much. I mean, you think about, like, you say generations, and we always kind of feel like that's this big gap. But when someone is, from the time someone is 12 to the time that they're 16, they live a totally different life. At 12, you still kind of with your parents and walking around. When you're 16, you leaving, going out, hanging with your friends. So you got different exposure. And if we seeing that kind of negativity as the representation of
Mm.
our culture, and as the mass representation of our culture, then you raise a bunch of people that think like that. And that's unfortunate that is, and it kind of goes down to, I remember Monique talking about the people wearing the bonnets in the airport, and wearing your pajama pants out. And these are the
Yeah,
kind of things that you're right. And we kind of grew up in an era where that's just unacceptable, and it should be unacceptable. It's not public for the public display, but if you say anything about it, then you can expect to get a lashing from them,
absolutely. Yeah,
and
definitely.
and the group and the whole group that's with them. So that's the thing about it. They gonna show up on Twitter and light you up. You be like, oh wow, it's a whole community
Yeah.
of
Have you
bonnets on the airplane.
ever been lit up on Twitter?
Yeah, yeah, like just, but not for anything negative. It was
Yeah.
theoretically, it was that whole Cat Williams thing that happened,
Yeah.
at the top of the year, and that was like, again, this is again the space where people just, without having any facts or anything, they
Yeah.
just jump on sides and ride the train that they want to be on. But then, to me, it was a to your point, it was just a residual affect of that,
Yeah.
his his attack, his you know accusations, all was all based off, again, just spread negative energy, and it caught on. Like, literally everybody started, like, just air people out for no reason, and that became
It
the new
did.
thing. Let me just say what's real.
Yeah.
This one side, and you be like, get out of here, that is not true.
Right, right, exactly. Which is what I can't stand about social media, period. Just the very
Yeah,
fact that we take little sound bites, we take little clips, and we build a whole narrative around certain things and we run with it. But I don't know. I feel like social media is such a blessing, but it's such a curse at the same time.
yeah,
But anyway, that to me, that's old news. I think that's in the past. I hope it
yeah,
is.
no doubt.
Yeah. My question for you is, like, you are, like, I can pinpoint maybe a handful and a half of people who you can take from the hood to the boardroom, and they're like the same person, and like you're gonna charm any audience that you're in. Can you pin You must know what I'm talking about. And can you
Yeah, yeah.
point what that characteristic is? What is that je ne sais quoi that you have that makes you able to, identify with kind of anybody? And it's really helped extend your career, do so many different things and diversify in your career. What is that quality about you that makes you be able to do that?
It's interesting. I definitely, attribute that to my mother, who was a school teacher and educator, but she was the person that always kind of thought. She lived very forward. We grew the first part of my life in a very small rural town, Carruthersville, Missouri, Boot Hill in Missouri. Again, very segregated. Black people live on one side, white people live on the other, and we meet in the middle for Dairy Queen. You know what I mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
that was baseball team.
Yeah,
Like, but
yeah.
in general, it's this separate space. But my mother was always one that had this vision. And, this was before online, but it was catalog ordering. Like she knew how to get clothes from other places, and so I always dressed forward. I always had this kind of forward thinking attitude about life. And then she explained something to my sister and I about credit. She says that your good name, your name in general, will walk in the room before you do, and remain long after you're
Ooh.
physically gone. And so I just thought that that was so powerful. And so I basically kind of live by that. So wherever I am, I kind of really go in to represent that my name is my name and I am who I am. And so if I'm in the hood, then y'all gonna know I'm here. I'm good. I had to live there as well when we moved to St. Louis. We lived on the north side of St. Louis. Grew up in that city and grime hard environment, but you learn to be yourself. And then went to college, then worked in corporate America. So I just kind of take all of those things and apply them to who I am, and just try to make sure that I represent that when my name is mentioned, that's what it rings out as: solid, funny, cool, always consistent. No matter where you say my name, that's me, and
Oh,
that's what it
yeah.
was all about. That having good credit.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar. I love that. I love the fact that you like no matter where you say your name, it holds strong. It's got some weight to
Yeah,
it. But have you ever felt, because I feel like the entertainment world is where people run up against, feeling, intimidated, feeling like they need to change, they need to fit in. Have you
yeah.
ever once throughout your decades long career felt like I need to sort of conform? I mean, you haven't, I'll be clear about that. You haven't conformed, but have you ever been met with that need or like that, like, should
Yeah.
I switch it up a little bit?
Well, I got that very early on in my career, and it was one of the greatest lessons ever for me. Is that right? We booked the Steve Harvey show. I booked the Steve Harvey show, and I was in New York, and I was performing for a group of white executives, all TV executives. We're in this room, and for whatever reason, I decided that I want to appeal to them. That I think that I know what they're looking for, and I switch up. You switch up. You got your white voice on. You got I change the jokes, and I'm over articulating. I'm just doing the most, right, and I'm dying. I mean, I just flat out dying on stage.
Wow.
And Steve walked up, and he came and got me basically like a big brother,
Mhm.
like, and cussed them out. The same executives that were uptight and in their suits about me laughed so hard with somebody cussing them out in pure black language. Like, he was not playing, so mad that they was dissing me, that he was like, look at y'all asses sitting up here. And I mean, and they dying. And it was the greatest lesson. It was right there. And he was like, man, make them come to you. If they don't like you as you, then that's one thing. But you trying to switch to them, that's not your lane. So one thing about being yourself, if you walk up there authentically yourself and you fail, hey, it is what it is. But if you go up there and you're trying to switch over and you switch and it don't work, now you look like a fake, and it's obviously that you're a fake. And
Mm.
I was like, that's a big, big lesson. And that was early enough for me to learn. Don't worry about that ever again. I'm good. I got you.
Oh my gosh, that right there, I think will help so many people because a lot of people, whether they're in the entertainment business or anywhere else for that matter, they're going to run up against that, and people do. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a reality, and
Well,
so
and especially, whenever you are, people will definitely want you to, kind of change for the brand or whatever it is. And these are things that you have to weigh out. But you could tell some people, if you really want to be, you have to kind of be, if you want to be on a CBS, you recognize it is going to be some diction. It will be some things you need to work on, and that is the norm for this audience. But that doesn't mean that you've changed. That means that you've decided to evolve and grow. So you have to be able to internalize that what they're asking. But change is, for you to like super switch it up. That's one thing. But But for you to say I can use this as a lesson to grow and elevate and become a stronger version of me, that's something different. And I think that our community often confuses that as selling out or somebody switching up too much. But the idea is that as an individual and a person that has talent and opportunity and exposure, that it's okay to elevate. It's okay to change. You just don't need to do that at the sake of giving up your core self.
That's a gem. I appreciate that. I mean, I appreciate that for me. I mean, I can only imagine everybody else, but that's again,
Yeah.
that's a real thing. So, what is it that you know now, like being on the other side? You've been, and I'm sure, when I think back to, what you're telling me about your childhood and how it was, you could only probably hope or dream of the life that you have right now, the life that you're living. And maybe you thought it was something, and it could be, but like, what is it that you have now or that you know now that you want everybody else to know? Like, because sometimes I've run into people and they're like, yo, like the money is not, I mean, the money is great, money, but people have this tendency to think money, fame, all the acclaim is gonna make your life just happy or make you be, bring so much more joy to your life. What is it that you know that you want to tell people, like, listen, like, don't get me wrong, it's cool, but there's a
Yeah.
lesson attached to it.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things is to, for me is to, I kind of do this with my kids. That's my biggest thing when you have kids, is to get them to understand that you have to identify with your dream and yourself, and then you have to know that you have to put in the work. It's not this thing that you can just throw it out there and it manifests. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned. That I had a very kind of um, uh, what I would consider fortunate and a great career that was always steady and moving. And then I had to look back and realize, like, I was doing the work though. I didn't,
Yeah.
even though it looked easy, even though it may seem like I did it, and for me it all kind of flowed. But it wasn't like I didn't strategize all these moves. Like, I definitely came up with plans and put myself in the right position for a certain thing to happen. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I always feel like, we kind of give up before we give ourselves a try. We doubt ourselves from trying our dreams. And I think that, these dreams are unique, and that's why they're yours, and your opportunity to be somebody powerful in this world or a great contributor really it really can only happen if you finish the task. And so nobody else can be you. And this includes, once you get even the greater lesson, once you kind of get managers and agents and all that, they have a way of spinning this and making it think they're the ones who gave you the job. They're the ones who got you on CBS. They're the ones, and we'll often give up our power once we get fame. And that's the bigger problem, when people give up their power to someone else and expect, like, hey, you're my agent, go get me a job. That's not how you got discovered. You got discovered because you was the
Wow.
one going to do it. And you got to always remember that part. Wake up every day, have something on your agenda that's for you to do, and make sure you get your job done. That's something I teach my kids. My agenda. I gotta have a thing that I need to do today for me, not just what everybody tell me I'm supposed to do. What do I have today? And I look on this piece of paper. What does Cedric want to do for Cedric? And I make sure I get that done. And that usually going to lead me to something else.
You're Cedric the Entertainer, but who knew you was Cedric the Preacher? I mean, you over
Let's
here.
go. Let's go to the doors of the church. Oh, you know what? I'm going to raise a little money. I'm going to do what he see me out on like Malcolm X and them on the ladder on the street.
Yeah. Yes, I love it. I love it. I'm not gonna keep you much longer, but I want to ask you about, I mean, you have all these other like business ventures. You've diversified like crazy, which is amazing. Obviously, we know you as a comedian and actor. But you're an author now. You're
Yeah,
still doing comedy. I know I still gotta make it out there to Vegas because I know it's
got to come.
extended. It's extended to December, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, yeah. We actually got extended into 2025 now. they love the show, and we've got like a almost 3 year deal working.
Wow. Okay. So I definitely got to make it out there. I will. That's a promise. I'm gonna make it out there. Um, but you also have your AC barbecue with Anthony Anderson. How
Yeah.
is that going? And like, who would have thought? I mean, people always talk about doing business with your friends and things like that, but this is a partnership. This is a movement, it feels like.
Yeah,
How is that
it
going
is.
for you all?
It's so great. We just came back this weekend. We both went to AMAC. This is the African Americans, the people who do concessions in airports all around the world, all around the country. We went. I performed for them, and then we presented our brand. Had great relationships, and so you'll see AC Barbecue coming in the airports. We're developing restaurants. We got 6 restaurants coming on college campuses this fall, with our first one at Jackson State already up. We opened that last year, this past spring. So you'll start to see the AC Barbecue brand be in place. Of course, you can get our rubs and sauces in Walmart and on Amazon, and Lowe's, HEB in Texas. So we are really just steady growing the brand. We enjoy doing it. We love building this community of great grillers and pit masters all around the country. So we're putting a lot of focus on the culture of barbecue, not just our brand, but the reason why we loved it is that we thought that barbecue, in very specifically, was something that came from the African American culture that had no African American representation.
Yeah.
So the biggest brand in barbecue sauce is Sweet Baby Ray's, and he not even black with that name. I said, oh, not only is he not black, he took our name. Sweet Baby Ray is a white dude. Come on, man, I can't do it. So I
What?
mean,
I didn't
so
know that. I didn't know that he
yeah,
was
see, look everybody like, yeah, I thought
Sweet
you
Baby
thinking that.
Ray.
We thinking
Okay.
that Ray them. That's not Ray. If he would have had the other Ray, then we would have been like, okay, now
Right.
that's a brother for sure. Sweet Baby Ray is different than Sweet Baby Ray.
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it was one that we kind of came at that idea, thought of course, the great communities that you build. That when you throw something on the grill, it is an instant. Hey, come through, bring some chips, bring a little, you bring this, you bring that, and we got a meal. And I thought, man, what a great way to kind of build community. And that's what we've been doing with the brand. And so it's been very special. Along with my wines, I do a wine for my mom, Seta, which is again, we had the same different team, but the same conversation. Anthony did a wine for his mom now that's coming out, Dolce Mama.
Nice.
So again, our partnership has kind of led to these great things that we also do philanthropic work with. So,
Yeah.
um,
Amazing.
but it's been special.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know that you do a lot of community work and a lot of philanthropic
Yeah.
work, so that's awesome. Um, what is so you're a golfer, we know that. What is it like the Cedric that we don't know? What would people want to know? Like, are you funny at home? Are you like super chill at home? Are you extroverted, introverted? Like, what is that like?
Yeah,
Away from the showtime, like away from
yeah.
stage.
I'm a combination of who I am. For the most part, you will get a real philosophical Cedric. I'm a thinker, so I'm oftentimes kind of creating and coming up with things. We got I got a new show coming out with Tracy Morgan that we're producing called Crutch. That'll be coming on Paramount Plus. Steady producing, creating shows. So we got Johnson, and then we got other shows. Headspace for BET Plus. So we're really out here, that's what I do for the most part, just really allow myself to be creative and then see if I can implement it.
Mm,
And so, but family dude with the wife, the kids, hang out. I like to golf as a halftime. I like to write songs as my part time. And so, but I really enjoy working. So, I'm in Vegas doing the residency, Love and Laughter. Anybody who hasn't come see me and the legendary Tony
yeah.
Braxton, great show. Come see that. But that's really what I kind of do on a regular basis is kind of like chill. But I read, I write. Of course, I got the book flipping box cars.
Yeah.
So, these are things that I just real renaissance. I want to start taking pictures because I do direct, but I don't spend enough time like capturing the images that I see because I'm not, I'm not one of these people that walk around with a camera, but I think I'm gonna start doing that now because I see a lot of things. I'm like, oh, what a beautiful shot! I should have been
Wow.
able to capture it.
That could be like a coffee table book.
See, look at us working together.
I know
I
you.
always like, give me thoughts, give me thought processes. Okay,
Exactly.
yeah,
That would be
good.
real
We can put it
nice. So
together.
you take some photos on your travels and things like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing for you. What legacy is it that you want to leave behind, or is it what you just said? Like all of these different things. I know I see sort of the trajectory of what you've opened up and what you've started for your life. Is there like an ethos that sort of guides you as to like the decisions you make, what you want to get behind? What does that legacy look like for you?
Yeah, I think I really love the idea of being a good dude, doing good things, and and hanging with good people. I like the idea that my brand is one that is about love, it's about laughter, it's
Mm.
about being cool, it's about style. It's it just kind of and it's always solid, being a solid individual. And I'd love for people to see that and be like, yo, that's a way to be. That's a thing right there, and you can do it. You can do all the things that you think of. You can travel and you can make money and you can love a beautiful woman and you can be cool with your kids and all of it can go together. And you can do good business and you don't have to cheat people and all of it goes together, dog. And you can just do it. And I give you a good here's a good blueprint of it right here. Just check out Said. It's dope. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
And I like that.
That's dope. That's dope. Um, before I let you go, you may or may not know, you know that I love your family. You must know that though. I love your family. I know you have three beautiful kids, but you're the two who are there, Lucky, Croy. I love them all. You know, I love your wife dearly. They all have a special place in my heart. And now your kids are grown, and my kids are getting ready to go off to college. What is
Okay.
the last thing you're going to tell me as a parent? The parental advice when your kids, when they go out into the world, what is the parental advice you got for me?
Go with them. It's such a trip. Laura and I travel a lot together all the time, and she's like super, legendary mom, right?
Yes,
But
yes, she is.
because my career always had me kind of traveling. I got this thing to where I can like check in with them when I'm gone, but I'm not like an everyday caller. But as soon as I get home, I gotta see them. I gotta go. They gotta be with me. I gotta hug them. And
Yeah,
so that's what happens when they go away to school. It starts to feel like you don't have the control. It's them the ones that's gone. Like when I go to do shows, I'm good with that space. But when they leave me, I'm like, hey, I'm coming over there. What are you
yeah,
doing? So so that's the hardest thing you'll recognize when they first leave. You'll be like, man, as much as I thought this would be cool, like to be the empty nest and these kids out of here, they
yeah,
did their personalities, what they do, the balance they give you. It's just so unique. And so I'm glad they both kind of elected to go to school, in California. And
yeah.
so we get this opportunity to still have dinners and lunches and
Beautiful.
pull ups and just go and sit and talk and I think that that's really the special thing. Of course, you truly want to encourage your kids to be independent and dynamic. And I think that's the biggest thing too, as a great example as a mother and a businesswoman and a person that is a doer. Is these examples are something that you want your kids to take with them on a regular basis. They see you get up and do. They see you handle your business. They
Mm.
recognize that these are expectations of life. And I think that you encourage that when they have great ideas, when they have small ideas that they don't even that they're doubtful of. You say, hey, let's shape it up a little bit and see if you can put it in the works. And if it doesn't work, then at least we tried it. No, it's not a
Mhm.
big deal. That's the biggest thing that I think that you kind of always worry about their success and well-being. And so You just got to love them and keep knowing that their independence and their growth is something that you've instilled in your leadership and your parenthood is inside them, and you just got to keep being there, but keep allowing them to go free. Crazy.
And that's the mic drop moment right there. I
Man.
so appreciate you. I appreciate the time you've given me. This has been so much fun talking to you. And congratulations on everything. And you got a fan in me for life, but I love you guys, your family. Trust me,
Yes.
in my heart for forever. So I appreciate you so much for your time, Cedric.
All right. Thank you so much. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Have a